how will the beef between Raquel and Unique escalate next. But just to add some seasoning on top of that, we see what happens at the end of the episode where Scrappy, is kind of thrown in front of Raquel and Kanan's house, and he's beaten and bloody and everything, but he's not dead. They didn't kill him. And so the critique is that this is starting to feel like they're just playing and not taking it seriously, because it's like, of course, death is a very wicked and evil thing, but if it's starting to feel like if they're really serious about beefing with each other, like Scrappy probably would have been dead, especially because he's being, disloyal. He's trying to be a snake. He's trying to be an inside man. He's trying to double cross Unique. So in that situation, I'm pretty sure he would have been shipped back, to Raquel dead, like fully dead. So it's starting to feel like, are they even taking this seriously? And if they're not taking this seriously, should we as a viewer? It's like it's starting to feel like play gangsters a little bit, just a little bit, because other parts of the show are great, like, and they really do depict the brutality and the roughness of the street life. They do depict it very well in other instances, but in this very instance, it's like, why didn't they just kill him? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the basis of this question is, how do you think the beef will escalate next? But you can also touch on Scrappy and other parts of the show that involve Raquel and Unique also. So I'll go to you first, Richards. So what do you think about that?
Okay, folks. So here's the deal, and may have to rewatch this again. But
Mm,
he did show that Scrappy did show up on Raquel's doorstep, missing an eye. Um,
mm,
because they said an eye for an eye. So obviously they tortured him, and they decided that they were going to now leave this as a sign to them that, listen, you can't play with us. We know that you sent Scrappy in here to basically try and get intel to see how we operate, and it did not work. Now, one thing about when Unique's other friend found out about Scrappy, when they left the club and they had the conversation, and the guy said, hold up, I know that you playing around on us. They did such a quick cut after that scene. I was like, okay, wow, what happened? And then we find out later on in the episode, shortly thereafter, yeah, so that's what happened. He got tortured that same night, and they left him. But I think, and again, to go to what you said, Gary, as far as the critique, I would have just killed the guy, because the thing about it is this: is that to kill him and then have him show up on the doorstep, I think that would have been much would have sent a much stronger message, as opposed to just torturing the guy and leaving him there. Because the thing is that there can be retaliation at some point. Now, obviously, he doesn't have an eye, so I don't really know how he can retaliate on that level. But the fact that you left him there is still, that's more of a retaliation that they can basically come after you later. So I don't understand why you wouldn't just kill him, especially when they killed a couple of Unique's friends. So yeah, I think that the body count, it would have made sense to kill someone else, but this war will escalate. It feels to me like it's just going to be a very slow game of chess and checkers that's going to keep going back and forth. Because if you're not going to kill off some of the key important characters, then it feels like it's going to be waiting for some type of thing. It's going to be a stalling period. And I guess the whole thing is that they're going to tell you is that, well, we're going to wait to see what this other person does before we retaliate. But the thing is that the next episode, I feel like there has to be some type of retaliation because of what happened with Scrappy. Um, Obviously, if they were successful and they actually killed Scrappy, and let's say they even killed Lulu in this episode, then for a fact, oh yeah, Raquel definitely gonna get some revenge in the next episode. But again, it just feels like they're just trying to be very slow and methodical as far as who is going to do whatever first. So I kind of feel like it's just going to be that way for the rest of the season, because this was episode 6. There's only 4 episodes left in the season. So I just think it's going to be a very slow building thing. Is it possible that somebody major could get killed by the end of the season? Yeah, I think it is possible. I think, like Dana said, Howard may only be around this season. It's no telling. That could be what happens. But I kind of feel like something major has to happen by the end of the season to justify certain things happening. So we have to wait and see what their whole plan is. But it does feel like it's just going to be a slow process as far
Yeah.
as when important getting taken out.
Yeah, because I feel like such a happy and upbeat episode like this should have ended with something huge, like a death or something like that. That's how it typically, should kind of go. But yeah, I mean, it's like, I think one of the issues is that these are great characters in this show as well. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Scrappy, he's a good character, and everyone else. Like, these are such a great cast of characters that I can imagine, as the creators, it's probably hard to kill off a character because they're just so good.
Oh yeah.
I come across this problem in writing as well, where sometimes you can enjoy writing particular characters so well that it's hard to actually kill them off. But at some point, there has to be high stakes. It has to feel like there's, you have to have the Game of Thrones effect where it's like, wow, anybody can go at any time. Like, so this is serious. You have to kind of have that feeling of intensity at some point in time. And we are getting to the later episodes of the season, so something definitely needs to give at some point. But Dana, what's your thoughts on this question of how the beef will escalate?
Okay, so here's the thing. I was upset he got tortured more than the superintendent did. Uh, but I do feel that no one truly wants to go to war unless you're some kind of psychopath, which would be Kanan, and Tommy. But no one truly wants to go to war, and so I don't blame them for having this all-out battle and retaliating the very second. I like the fact that he's not dead. I like the fact that they use Scrappy. They beat him to like 1 inch of his life, and he has to suffer with the consequences of his actions. I think sometimes living through that experience may be more painful than just killing someone, and it sends maybe a more powerful message because he's useless now. If you look at it, yeah, it's easy to just kill someone, but the guy who you grew an attachment to, however much a facade it may have been, is now half dead at your door. And that to me, I feel would hit harder emotionally as he's like, "Help me!" in that situation, and he may end up dying later on.
Yeah, it's Scrappy definitely is now going to be useless. And this means that Raquel, she's going to have to push Kanan in and get him involved because the whole time Scrappy was the right hand man. Well, he was the one of the most loyal people that was helping her out. So you need to definitely someone has to replace him. Why not let it be Kanan?
I don't see her being gun ho and doing that. I see
Oh yeah,
it
you're
more of
right.
him wanting to step up, of
Yeah.
more of him persuading her and going behind her back. I do see that their rift is going to continue, and so he is going to take the place behind her back. So yeah, but I think she is very focused on keeping Kanan out of certain things, which is if you looked with the boyfriend, yeah, they kind of broke up and had that situation.
Hmm.
So yeah, I don't see it be like, here, son, it's your turn. Go
Yeah,
forth
yeah.
and kill.
You're
That
right. You're right.
that
You're right
that
about that. Yep, you're
that
right
leads
about that.
into the next question I was going to ask. But real quick, I just want to say that I don't think Scrappy is going to be completely useless because remember in The Wire when there was that guy who he sat on the chair and he yelled 5-0 when the police were coming. Scrappy could do that. He just won't have as good a view because he's only got like one eye to work
Yeah,
with,
yeah, but
so
he
he might
also
not
can't.
see that.
He also can't run away though now when Howard or Howard's replacement tries to chase after him. So that's the same thing. Oh, you
Yeah.
muted Dana. What did you say?
I was saying, was you talking about Bubbles?
No, that wasn't Bubbles who yelled 5-0. Like there was like a little kid who his only job was to sit there and yell 5-0 when the police would come in.
But he could also kind of be like Bubbles, because if you looked at Bubbles, not to go off on a wire tangent, remember Bubbles was kind of always there, but no one ever noticed him really, and that's how he was able to get all of the information and feed it to the cops. And technically, he was the only one at the end who had a happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Bubbles was a great character. Like,
I miss Bubbles.
I might need to watch that show again.
Such a good show.